He says, I don't feel alone about having a wild theory about Bitcoin right now. The world would go to shit if we continued on a fiat path. Was Bitcoin created by an advanced civilization or was time travel involved? That's what I'm saying. I really don't think that it was just like a regular guy who was able to put all the pieces together and put it in such a very brilliant. I don't think there's any other word to describe it other than brilliant way to ensure there's fairness, ensure there's actual proof of work involved, to ensure that the little guy actually has the most of supply before the countries and banks start buying it. Everything was just so well thought out. The cycles, it had to be something more than just a person. Mr. Yolfang, good morning. Good morning. Jared says, look at this. This is a nice comment, I think. Jared says, I started following your channel when you had maybe 300 subs. It's awesome to see everything pan out for you, watching you connect with all sorts of Bitcoin YouTubers. Way to make dreams reality. It is kind of crazy, honestly. And the thing is, to me, like, I really think that this thing hasn't even got off the ground yet. That's a cool thing for me. With like this channel, with Bitcoin, with if you have any sort of we'll call it a tentacle. If your tentacles are touching anything Bitcoin related right now, you're going to do very, very, very well for the rest of your life, essentially. And I have to always remind myself of that because it's very easy for me to, when you're all in on Bitcoin and you see your credit cards and you see your mortgage and you see your other loans, it can be very disheartening because it feels like you're just barely getting by here. That's how I felt. That's how I feel still today. But then I take a step back and just understand what I'm holding here. And it's not a lot of Bitcoin at all. I'm actively trying to get more of it, obviously. But then I just take a step back and think, you know what? All of that is a complete illusion. This is the real thing. This is the future of everything. And probably no matter what happens here, what politicians in place, it doesn't really matter. Over the long term, I'm good. I'm more than good. And again, I don't have a huge stack of Bitcoin. I don't. And I'm sure if you've been watching the show and kind of the things that I talk about and how, I'm somebody who says, go into ZBD and earn 5 sats. Somebody with multiple Bitcoin would not be taking their time to earn 5 fucking sats. That's just the reality of things here. So I don't care if you believe me or not. It is the truth. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is like all that stuff that I see in the fiat world, my bills, my loan accounts, stuff like that, it's very easy to just wrap yourself into that and be, down and depressed and stressed out about it. But then you look over here and you're like, okay, well, you know what? Even if this thing works out about 10% of what I think it's going to, I'm going to be more than okay. And that's a very comforting feeling, especially in a world that has zero hope at all for anybody in it. But thank you, Jared. I appreciate that. And I thank you for, being here, because it's kind of hard to subscribe to a channel when they have 300 subs, because you just kind of assume that they're full of shit.